In Experience the Law, you get the opportunity to kind of see some modern aspects of our judicial system, and I guess I would hope that our students don't have a situation in their life where they necessarily personally need to be aware of aspects of our judicial system, but I think as somebody who's part of like a greater society, we should be aware of like the rights and responsibilities of us as citizens, and if we see like injustices happening throughout society, to be people who are educated on what human beings are entitled to in our country. The more aware you are of what your rights are as an individual and what the rights of your fellow citizen are and your fellow person are, the more likely you are to be able to make positive change when you recognize that things are not going the way they should. History in the headlines will give you the opportunity, I guess, to kind of reverse the way you would normally see social studies. As a social studies teacher, we teach the history and then try to weave in some current events with it, where this would be more focused on what's going on in present day society through technological means and whatnot, understanding like how different media sources affect our flow of information, how different biases affect like the way that we perceive certain things. And I think having a course where you can really dive into that and not worry about the standardized test at the end of the year, but just be aware of what's going on with your surroundings is a great thing. I think you're going to focus on the historical circumstances that led to different genocides occurring throughout history, and I think a lot of times when you learn about things like the Holocaust, you look at it from the victim's perspective, and we see that there were such terrible things that occurred, and sometimes you just don't have time to like get into what were the policies that caused groups of people to be willing to do things like this, and what was the background. Are there any common trends when we see different genocides have occurred throughout history? I also believe, just from a historical perspective, that we kind of owe it to the people who came before us to recognize what they went through and to recognize what that experience was. You'll take a look at different, not only psychological theories, but different behaviors amongst people in individual settings and group settings, and you'll, through case studies and whatnot, get an idea as to how the human brain works, how people interact with one another, kind of why they do what they do. I think anytime a student would have the opportunity to take an AP course and potentially get 3 college credits at the end of the year is a good thing. I also think that for maybe sophomores, juniors, and seniors, it's a good opportunity to understand what a college course load is going to be. You'll get AP Euro is a class that I would say is probably for people who are interested in history, people who, when they were taking global history and taking American history, felt as though that they had a passion for the topic. European history, in the sense that you're only focusing on that geographic area, so it's nice because sometimes with global it's like kind of all over the place. With American history, it's only focusing on the short history of the United States, whereas with your AP Euro, it's taking you from about 1450 up through 4 major units that get to contemporary times. I think anytime that you have the opportunity to take a course that you're interested in and a course that potentially provides you the opportunity to obtain some college credits, it's a good opportunity and a good option for you.